The last gasps of the Covid Crazies. That's how I'd describe what went on at the Ottawa School Board just the other night as they had a vote to bring in another mask mandate. Yes, November 2022, almost December. Hard to believe that happened, but it did. And a lot of people across Canada, across the United States, probably going unbelievable that that was even being proposed. But it was. So a bit of a backstory. Dr. Nili Kaplan-Myrth is a voice who is very prominent on social media, getting media appearances throughout COVID, and one of the supporters of the most aggressive COVID restrictions imaginable. Definitely was up there in terms of the things she wanted to see implemented, never wanted lockdowns to end, masking, and so on. She is a family physician in Ottawa. She goes and runs for trustee in the latest municipal elections almost as a single issue candidate to say, let's bring back masks. And sure enough, as soon as she gets in as trustee, because she won her election, the first thing she does, push forward this special motion, bring back mask mandates. And a pretty aggressive one, too. They had to be N95 or surgical masks, none of those blue cloth masks that we have all been wearing throughout all of the previous mask mandates. Very controversial. A lot of people were against it. At the first meeting, there are actually two meetings, if you can believe it. At the first meeting, it was disrupted because people showed up. It was a public forum, and a lot of people were really unhappy. So parents were interrupting and shouting, saying they didn't want it. So then they moved to a second one that took place Thursday evening, and that was not a publicly attended one. You could just watch it via live stream. But it was quite something to watch all of this unfold as a number of facts came forward to suggest, this just ain't where we're at. One of them was that only 10% of the current student body at Ottawa schools is wearing masks. That seems to be about consistent with general Ontario society right now. The vast majority not wearing them. So hold on a second. You want to basically force 90% of people to do something they've indicated they don't want to do? Then the chief medical officer for that region, Dr. Vera Etches, she made a presentation and prepared documents saying, oh, I support people choosing to wear masks. And you go, oh, okay, so she's strongly recommending masks, but she doesn't actually support this mandate, even though she doesn't want to directly knock it down. What's going on here? So Dr. Kaplan-Myrth, getting a sense that this wasn't going in her favor, she started watering down the mandate more and more to deal with people's concerns, and it came to the point where it was basically a voluntary mandate. But people still thought, what's the point then? So it actually tied 6-6 vote, which is considered a fail, so it wasn't passed. However, it's interesting that there were two student trustees there representing the student voice. They were the most articulate people at the whole table, and they voted against it. So if you count them, it was an 8-6 fail. They are non-binding votes. They're 2 votes. But it was interesting that the student voices said, we don't want all of this. I think the whole spectacle was just pretty sad. Again, why was this even being talked about in November 2022? And it lost. Democracy had its say. The students had their say. You better believe angry parents had their say. And I sure hope that we don't have to talk about this anymore. You want to wear the mask? Go ahead and wear the mask. But what we saw happening in Ottawa, that was the last gasps of the COVID crazies.